Hey loves, welcome to my channel. My name is Wynne Jean, and today we're getting into this removable sew-in that came out fire. First things first, if we're doing a sew-in, we need good quality hair. You do not want to sew in cheap hair. You're going to be mad and waste 3 hours of your life, okay? Please don't. Today's video is sponsored by YGWIGS. They sent me 4 bundles of their Genius Weft hair in the texture Body Wave in 20 inches, and I am obsessed. I've been wearing virgin hair extensions for about 15 years, so it's extremely difficult to impress me with some bundles, baby. When I say extremely difficult, I mean damn near impossible, but I am thoroughly impressed with this hair. One is double wefted, so there's none of that short hair at the base of the track. It's all long, good quality hair, no filler, none of those random colored lines, none of that. The wefts are so thin. The thinnest wefts I have ever seen. The wefts are so thin that if you took a normal track and split it in half, these wefts are still smaller, and somehow the hair is still super full. And because the Genius wefts are also really well reinforced, you can cut them with no problem and not have to worry about shedding. Not to mention, the quality of the hair itself actually feels like virgin hair. I'm always a little bit wary when people say it's virgin hair, but it comes in a really uniform texture. So I went ahead and washed it and it was confirmed. This hair is gorgeous. It's so heavy. The hair is so full from root to tip. It's very impressive. I honestly feel like I could have got away with 3 bundles with no problem at all, but I wanted to have a really super extra full look today. Because the style is reusable, I wanted it to be super duper full, but if you like a more natural look, definitely stick to the 3 bundles because it was a lot. And honestly, I'm so excited to show you guys exactly how I got this style. So let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all gonna love me for this one. So first, let's take care of our natural hair per usual. Mine is clean and slightly damp. I washed and conditioned it and let it air dry a bit. First, I wanted to separate out my leave out, and then I went ahead and blow dried everything that's gonna be braided up. And now we're ready to braid her down. I went ahead and parted out a really thin section going vertical down the sides of my hair along my edges, and then I continued that braid around the perimeter of my head and across the back, and do the exact same thing on the other side. But when I get past my ear, I pull up the end of the other braid and braid them together. This way I end up with one continuous braid around the perimeter of my head, and this is what we're gonna attach our wig to, so it's super important. Now, how you braid the rest of your hair is your business. I prefer to do mine in that same pattern, going down, grabbing the last braid and continuing past it, and doing that same thing over and over again until I'm left with only 2 ends of my braid to sew down. And I just kind of sew that in a circle pattern in the back of my head. I try to keep all the bulkiness in the back so that the top lays nice and flat and we get that really nice seamless look. I also try to sew everything down in the middle and keep everything away from that perimeter braid to keep it nice and smooth and small, so that when we sew our wig on, it lays nice and flat. And this is the finished braiding pattern. She's real flat, she's cute, my hair is nice and protected, can't beat it with a bat. Now for the cap of our wig, I'm going in with a mesh dome cap. They have so many different ones. I chose this one because I'm putting 4 packs of hair on this wig and I want it to still be breathable, so the mesh was really important to me. And I also like how this particular brand fits my head. I like to leave out a little bit of edges, so I don't want my dome cap to be super big. I want it to fit my head really snug and allow me to leave out some edges without having to customize the cap too much. And this cap was perfect for that. It also has quite a bit of stretch and a thick 1-inch elastic band around the perimeter to keep everything nice and tight. I want to wear this wig over and over and over again, so the quality of the cap really does matter. I wouldn't use like a wig cap for this. That's more for a quick weave vibe. You want something a little bit more sturdy. I'll link this one down below in the description bar if you guys want to go ahead and pick it up. And I just marked out my leave out with a white eyeliner pencil. Ignore the first set of lines. They were definitely a little off, so I marked it again, made sure it was right, and now we can go ahead and start sewing the wig together. Now, one trick that I like to use is lining up the center of the wig using the lines that come on my like wig head that I have. It helps me make sure that everything is nice and even, and it also kind of gives me a reference for where everything will hit on my head so I know where the track should sit. I like to pre-thread my needles so I can kind of just go through everything relatively easily. I thread about 3 to 4 needles at a time and just knock it out. I'm starting off by pre-threading my needle through the cap, then laying the track on top of it, securing it at the very tip, and then I kind of just lay it against my wig head and continue to sew until I run out of thread. To close everything out, I wrap the thread around the needle 3 times and then pull it through, and this creates a knot because you do not want your track slipping. You want this wig to be nice and sturdy and to last for at least a couple of years. I have some wigs I have had for pushing 5-6 years, to be honest. It's all about how often you wear them and how you treat them. When I'm done wearing my wigs, I wash them, put them in a little baggie, and pop them right in my little wig box and call it a day. With proper care, something like this can last forever, to be honest. As you can see, I'm going from side to side, flipping the tracks as I go, and as of right now, I have finished 2 of the bundles and I have 2 more left. I like to space the tracks out quite a bit in the back, about a 1/2 inch apart, and then once I get closer to the top, I start to make that space smaller and smaller because I like a lot of the fullness of my hair on top to give me some volume. And as you can see, these Genius wefts are so small. It's incredibly easy to flip the track and it lays really flat. I know a lot of people like to use T-pins when they're making wigs, but I cannot get with it. They always kind of slip out of place and I don't like that. I prefer to use these push pins for sewing, like actual sewing of clothes. I feel like they are a lot more secure. They're super cheap. You can get a big ass box of them off Amazon for like $5. And I like that the little ball kind of pushes down on whatever you're trying to hold into place and keeps it there. Something about them T-pins just don't be sitting right in my spirit. Am I the only person? I cannot possibly be. I used to use thumbtacks, but they're not long enough. I like that these needles are really long so you can get a good hold, and the little ball on top keeps everything in place. Now at the very top, I wanted to test the whole you can cut them without shedding thing, so I cut the tracks on the last pack of hair to keep everything nice and flat around the edges and around the part. And I'm not gonna lie, the wefts held up really well. It's almost like they have some sort of sealant on them. I'm not sure what they do, to be honest, but the recipe is hitting, okay? And don't get me wrong, I've had some really good bundles. I have bought hair from really expensive places. I've had some good hair from some more affordable places. But this hair was amazing. Like, I don't know quite how to explain it. You just have to touch it. It's so thick. It's so full. The fact that it's double drawn really ate the girls up. Because typically when I buy bundles, I have to cut off at least 1.5 to 2 inches for everything to look really healthy. And with this hair, I did not have to do that at all. The hair was healthy from root to tip, like truly healthy. You can tell that it's double drawn, and I'm not gonna lie, I am sold. And not to mention, it's not even super expensive. I just knew this hair was gonna be an arm and a leg, and it's not. It's very affordable. And right now, the 20-inch bundles are actually on sale for $83, and you cannot beat that with a bat, especially for the quality. Like, I'm hard to impress with bundles, but like, I don't want to keep saying it, but I truly was impressed by this hair. Now to install this wig, essentially I'm just sewing the perimeter down to my hair. Super simple. I'll start sewing the hair around the part first because that's the most important, child. That's where you want to make sure everything is in place. We can finesse the rest, but that just got to be right. So once I finish sewing everything around the part, I moved to the perimeter of the hair, starting on one side, sewing it to just behind my ear, then doing the other side to just behind my ear, and then I went ahead and did the back last. If you want to, you can part the hair half up, half down, and then sew one track in the middle as well. But I was only gonna leave it on for about a week, so I didn't feel the need to. However, I used to make these wigs and wear them for like 2 months at a time. So if you're gonna wear it for an extended period, definitely go in between and sew more than just on the perimeter, so it's not too much stress on your edges. Now, my braids around my leave out were not the tightest. I should have added a little bit of braiding here to give them a little bit more structure. So I had to double sew around my part just to make sure everything was nice and tight. And now we have her installed. If you want to, you can glue a track down around your leave out. I ended up gluing one on a little bit later, but you don't have to. This can be a completely sewed on style. And to get everything nice and laid around the part so it blended a little bit better, I went in with my olive oil wrapping set lotion, applied it to the top of the wig, and then I blow dried it to get everything nice and flat. With any wavy or curly hair, I like to do this when I'm going to straighten it because I don't like to have any wave in my roots. And you're kind of training your new wig to lay exactly how you want it. If you want it to go towards your face, if you want it to go straight back, whatever you want, this is the time to train it. Now for styling. When I have a super full wig, I have to see it with curls. It's not even a question. So first things first, I have to blow dry the hair out. If I tried to curl it straight from its wavy state, it wouldn't give what I wanted it to give. I would have to go over it a bunch of times, and I don't want to have to do all of that. So I'm starting off by sectioning the hair, applying a little bit of water just so it's a little bit damp, and then blow drying everything out to get it nice and smooth before we go in and add the curls. And as you can see, once you blow dry it, the texture of this hair is really starting to shine. Even though it's not a yucky texture, I feel like it blended amazing with my hair. I gave it a really slight trim to the bottom to make sure everything was nice and even, and then cut a little bit of layers in the front to frame my face, but nothing too crazy. I really wanted to let the hair quality shine more so than trying to overly style it. But I need my middle part to be crispy, so I put my little rat tail comb and laid it in my part, and then sprayed a little bit of root touch-up spray to make sure my part is nice and dark. I don't want it to look unnatural like a closure wig that's too dark, but I do want it to look nice and full, so I've been adding this step and I have been really liking it. I straightened my leave out, and as you can see, it is blending like a dream. But to finish off the style, I'm going in with my 1 1/4 inch Conair ceramic curling iron, and I'm just putting some curls in the hair and pinning it up so they can kind of cool in place and keep the curls tight for a little bit longer. I ended up curling everything going straight down. I wish I would have curled it going back. In hindsight, I think that would have been so pretty, but it still came out gorgeous. And am I the only person who feels so cute when I have like a roller set in or I have all my curls pinned up? I would literally go outside like this, like curls pinned up with a little bit of baby hair. Eats. I feel so cute. I want to put on like a little robe and give Miss Parker, like, tell me I don't look cute. In love. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do my edges while all the hair is kind of out of my face. I only did my 2 little side swoops and my sideburns. Nothing too crazy. Y'all know I will get real Betty Boop around here, but I tried to be reasonable today. So you're welcome. And as you can see, the curls were gorgeous. This hair is so full. It blended beautifully with my natural hair. It had so much volume. And hell, these curls probably still in that hair. They lasted so long. This style is definitely my vibe for 2025. I've been really liking the more natural, more relaxed hairstyles. I ain't trying to do too much, okay? I love me a little roller set, and ain't nothing wrong with that, okay? I hope that you guys really enjoyed today's video. All the details about the hair and any products that I use will be down below in the description bar if you guys want to pick anything up. I am in love with how this style came out. But before I let y'all go, I want to show you how I removed it. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I know I'm getting a comment about it, and I want you guys to feel really comfortable with this technique before trying it. So this is the hair a couple of days later. I never recurled it. I want to say I wrapped it and it still kept a curl, so kudos for them. 10s across the board. And like I said, I ended up gluing a track onto my hair, and by the time I took it out, baby, she was ready to come out. So I went ahead and just kind of peeled that little track off, and then I'm cutting all of the threads around the perimeter of the hair. And I'm trying my best to only cut the threads that are attaching the wig to my hair, not the threads that are attaching the extensions to the wig. You don't want to ruin your wig, so take your time. And it's a lot easier when you flip the wig over, because only the stitches you need to cut will be visible. The stitches that are holding the extensions to the wig will actually be on the wig and not attached to your hair. So, pro tip. But to be honest, you're gonna make a couple little snips here and there that you probably shouldn't. And if you make any mistakes, it's super easy to fix. You just sew it right back down and call it a day. The wig took me about 3 minutes to remove, and that's being generous. It probably was closer to 1.5 minutes, but I want to encourage you guys to take your time. Do not cut your hair, and do not slice and dice your wig up. It took too long to make. I love you guys so much. I hope that you enjoyed today's tutorial, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, babes.
I can't fight this feeling.